welcome to Smiling Souls, everybody. This is Stephanie Keenan Ray and Wendy Tadiucci. How you doing today?
Hey, sound kind of like a frog, but I'm here.
Yes. Wendy's not feeling so good today, so
Really?
we're gonna grant her a whole lot of grace, and hopefully the angel will be watching over you, and you'll just magically have the most amazing hour of your life, and be able to breathe and not cough and all the things.
Shall it be?
Yes, exactly.
Do that.
Right? We'll make it happen.
That's it. I love it. I love your positivity.
I'm trying. So, should we do our oracle cards today?
Yes, we should.
Yes. You go first.
Well, you just held yours up.
I know, because I usually go first, but it's your turn to go first.
Oh boy. Steph.
Well, because otherwise it's back to back, you talking too much.
Is it?
You have to read for Rita too. So
Wait, you were gonna read for Rita.
no, you are so on drugs.
I really am. I thought you were gonna read Rita's bio.
I am gonna no. Oracle cards, darling.
Oh.
Welcome
Okay.
to the show, everybody. Wendy's on drugs today, so don't mind her.
Don't mind me. So I'm pulling my oracle card, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Rita's like, dear God.
She's like, what did I get myself into? These lunatic women.
Okay. I pulled Zedekiel, Karmic Release. And
maybe that's what's happening in your face is a karmic release.
I need to freaking release this, whatever this is, virus, flu. It's time to release what's holding you back and step into a more radiant self. I think that's all. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's going to go sideways. That's it. I'm releasing this.
Yes. I love it. That was brilliant.
Go.
Okay. So I pulled the Spread Your Wings card. And it is Archangel Ariel. Do not hold back right now. The timing is perfect and you are ready to soar. Although you may feel intimidated by the prospect of change and by the thought of moving past your comfort zone, you're ready to fly high, welcome new opportunities, and know that it's safe to follow your heart and dreams. Keep your focus upon love, service, and spirit, and avoid naysayers and skeptics. Remember that you inspire others with your story and turning challenges into victory. Working with Archangel Ariel, Ariel loves all living beings and gladly helps them all. She's a master manifester, and she is especially supportive of people who are healers, teachers, and service workers. She is very partial to the environmental area, and she works closely with nature angels to protect and heal animals, particularly the birds, animals, and fish who live near or in water. One way to work with Ariel is to participate in environmental work, including trash pickups near a lake, stream, or ocean, donating time, money to an environmental cause, or switching to an environmentally friendly cleaning supplies. Well, I do 90% of that, so that's good.
You already do it.
My son, that just made me laugh. It reminded me of Gabriel was so funny. Earth Day was just the other day.
Right.
And he always, when he goes for a walk with my mom, wants to pick up the trash, and my mom's like, we don't have the things. So she ordered one of those big long sticks so they could
grab her
the trash.
Yeah.
And they brought a big trash bag with them on their walk, and they filled it. Like he was apparently like climbing into things and getting all the things. Yeah. So he was cleaning up a park in my mom's town, and like I just thought that was so awesome. I'm very proud of him.
Why can't people throw their crap away? Like a bag in the car, net out the window.
Yeah.
How hard is that? I'm sorry. Just saying. All right. And so now, Rita, I'm gonna choose. You're gonna choose your card. So I'm gonna shuffle, and you tell me when to stop.
Stop.
This one or this one?
Stop.
You have Archangel Sandalphon. Read that. Building the bridge. Your role is to create a connection between heaven, earth, and all hearts. I would say that's pretty accurate, knowing you. So let's see, and I'm going to read this, and we'll hope for the best. Sandalphon's name means co-brother, most likely referring to the idea that he is the twin brother of Metatron. The on in his name comes from the word throne, meaning this is an angel who is around or next to the throne of God. Fawn is an indication that Sandalphon has connections to music and sound, and he is often regarded as heaven's master of song. He is one of the youngest yet tallest of the angels. In a past life, he was the prophet Elijah. When it came the time of his ascension, due to his spiritual knowledge, he attained angelic status. Now he helps those on earth step into their most angelic qualities. So here's your message. Angels are grateful for the light and energy you bring to the earth. And whether you realize it or not, there is a sacred mission unfolding for you at this time. You are creating a powerful bridge of light between heaven and earth, and your role is to bring the light that crosses that bridge to those who need it most. Oh my gosh, Rita, this is like dead on. Take the time to become aware of those in your life who might be feeling left out, unsupported, and othered. Your work is about bringing them together. Thoughts?
Yeah, good confirmation.
Good. Isn't that awesome? Confirmation is so gorgeous. So that's it. I've done my thing.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I made it.
All righty. Ladies, it is time to talk about what no one told you about menopause.
So join us for the Smiling Souls Menopause Summit. We're going to be looking behind the curtain. We're going to have a very bold, very honest, very empowering, very funny virtual event where we dig deep into the real experiences of perimenopause and beyond.
We're going to kick things off with laughs from comedian Rita Desnoyers Garcia, followed by some absolutely powerful talks from dynamic speakers.
And the fabulous Doris Birch is going to be joining us for some real girl talk, real woman talk about, menopause and all the things.
All the things I never told you. Yep.
Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is not your mama's menopause chat. It is honest, healing, and a little hilarious. So we would love if you reserve your spot now and get ready to feel seen, supported, and smiling through the change.
Yeah. June 12th, your investment is only $97, and the link will be in the comments. See you there.
Right. So I'm going to welcome Rita. Pardon me, my throat just decided to close.
We can't both have this issue at the same time.
No, it's no big deal. Okay, so we are so happy to welcome Rita Desnoyers Garcia. Has been helping women reach their true potential for over 30 years. After a long career as a social worker in New York City and while raising her family, she had a spiritual transformation. She is now a spiritual teacher, speaker, life coach for stressed out professional moms, as well as a comedian, musician, and the author of 3 books: Extraordinary Abundance, Outside of the Box, Love Experiments, and the Self-Compassion Project. And she is the creator of the Forest Meditations. Yes, I read that right. You can find out more about Rita's works and offerings at www.becomingawake.com. And she lives with her husband and 3 children in New Jersey. So welcome, Rita. I am really excited to get to know you and learn more about you because it sounds like you are a fascinating lady.
We're so happy you're here.
Wendy, thank you for having me. It's very generous of you.
Of course. Our pleasure. And I see your self-compassion workbook right behind you. Oh,
I'm gonna lead it display so it enters into your brain.
Yes.
I love that.
Excellent. So, how did you tell us about that spiritual transformation that happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my kids are now all in college.
Oh.
When they were 4 and under, so I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a newborn. I decided I wasn't busy enough. I needed to have my own business, and I was selling essential oils.
Mhm.
And
Okay.
I was at first tried to do that just sort of locally, and then I lost all my friends. No one wanted to come near me after a while.
Mhm.
And
Steph is shaking her head. It sounds like you've got some commonality.
yeah, I mean,
I
some
mean, I didn't lose my friends for no
are
reason,
not
but I
helpful.
understand. I understand what's
Yeah.
going on there. Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was I took a marketing course where I was on the phone learning. I was in the course, and it was in the era where it was all phone leads. And then eventually, once you figured it out, you went online. So it was that like the early aughts.
In Netland.
And so I had these 3 kids. I had my like little mini preschool in my house while I was trying to do this. It was, it was Cuckooville. It was very
Cuckooville.
chaotic. I had a toddler on my knee while I was trying to close someone. I developed a cough while I was doing this because my body was trying to stop me, but I was just like, I don't know why I'm coughing.
Gosh.
Which is really hard when you're trying to sell health and wellness products when you're coughing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cough really well. And like at least a half a dozen times my husband would be like, are you having fun with this? And I'm like, I'm having a ball. I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
It's great.
Great. So good. And so one day we had a meeting among the marketing people who were giving me leads, right? And we had this meeting, and they basically said, if you guys don't start closing, we're going to take the leads back.
Mm.
And I remember being on that phone call and muting it because I started to cry. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's all imploding. Like, this is not working. And what was flooded into me were all these core beliefs that I had been repressing over the years. You don't know what you're doing. You always quit after 6 months. You're a failure. Here you go again. Like all of this stuff.
Oh boy.
Cruel,
Yeah.
mean, judgmental voices that all of us have deep, 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 that we are constantly trying to prove wrong or prove right, depending on what we're doing at the moment. And so I was sitting there on the floor, like literally like sliding down the wall, butt on the floor, crying. And then my kids saw me and they start crying. So we're all crying. There's like crying people in the house. And it was one of those really low moments in my life that I'm so glad happened. Because I was finally defeated enough to be open to help, right? Yeah. Be open to, there's got to be another way other than what I'm doing, which is really when people come to us, right? That's when people come to us. 100%. So I found this guy, I read this book called Belief Works. It's written by a guy named Ray Dodd, who was a protege of Don Miguel Ruiz, the Four Agreements guy. And one of the students of Ray Dodd was this guy named Chris Saris. I booked a session with him because he had a business background, because I thought he's going to help me close people. Like I was still in that mode of my life will be great once I start closing clients. Then I can save my family, retire my husband, and everything's going to be great.
Yeah.
And one of the first conversations I had with him, he said, Rita, right now, can you just be kind and gentle with yourself? And we was all on the phone, by the way. And I was like, why? Like, what's the point? I don't get what you're saying, And he said, just try it. Just try it. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So for 30 seconds, like, whatever, dude. So I was kind and gentle with myself for like 30 seconds. And I started crying again, because I felt so much relief. I was not a failure for 30 seconds. I wasn't a terrible mother for 30 seconds. I wasn't always quitting for 30 seconds. And it felt like how you feel when you stop beating your head against the wall, when you have an absence of pain. Right? So I was just like, all right, you made me cry. I'm going to hire you. So
that's it. You have to make someone cry to close them.
Apparently.
That's good
yeah,
advice.
apparently. Well, he helped me I'm like, you're getting somewhere.
yeah.
Like I was wise enough to know that if he could do something that would help me have that emotional reaction, that probably has more things to teach me, and I'm open to them. So, because I was desperate. Once again, I'm desperate. So we worked together for 4 years on the phone. And we went a lot of places, but I realized at that moment, this is important. I don't know what this is called. I call it self-compassion now, but at the moment I didn't know what to call it. And I kept coming back to it over and over and over and over. Anytime I was making a change in my life, I had to come back to, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can you just be kind and gentle with yourself right now? And then that became the starting point. And so it was so significant for me. And then when I started working with clients, that I would bring them back to that point as well. But I decided to write a book about it, and I developed a course about it. And it's one of the things that I offer people, to moms, is, okay, let's just start with a foundation of self-compassion, and I'm going to teach you how to cultivate that in yourself. And there's a lot of ways to do that, by the way. So that became sort of one of the pillars, or one of the programs that I offer stressed out professional moms, amongst others. But that was a key one. That was the big first step.
That's huge.
It's
huge. And yet it's so, once you realize that, like, oh, I can surrender and I can be gentle to myself. Because, right, we're taught, you got to push, you got to hustle, no, you don't.
Pity party. What is this, a pity party? Yeah. Wake up. Come on. Zip upper lip. Just go stronger, faster.
Yeah. And all that gets you is burned out and sick and exhausted.
Yeah.
And all the things. And then it's almost like magic. Like, oh my gosh, I can love myself, take good care of myself. And look at that. That just happened. I just got a client. Because do you feel like it's also like energetic? Like people can feel, right, your energy. And if you're like, they're like,
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, it's, it's what we're projecting and beaming out into the universe or whatever. If you have a desperate energy or a pushy energy, people feel that. They don't know what they're feeling. They just feel like, I don't know. I don't want to say yes to that.
Yeah.
You have a self-compassionate, nurturing, you're filling your own cup and letting it pour out to others. People go, ooh, I'll have what she's having.
right.
How do I get a little of that? How do I hang out with this person? Because that's what you're buying. You're buying, when you buy something from a person, you're buying their energy. You're buying their confidence. They're buying their trust.
That's it.
So if you don't feel it, no, it's not going to work.
Exactly. And that's why you weren't closing, because you were beating yourself up. And then when you shifted, that changed the game for you. You got to help more people by closing them, by enrolling them.
Well, I switched my whole business. So one of the things that he was suggesting was like, you want to take a step back from what you're doing a little bit, because you look really burned out. And I was like, I can't be a quitter. And he's like, I'm not saying you need to quit. I'm saying take a step back. It's the best thing I ever could have done, because I wasn't taking care of myself. Right. So I was trying to sell health and wellness products, and I wasn't actually healthy and well, so I ended up taking a step back from my business. I ended up going to the gym. I started meditating. I had like a babysitter. Imagine that, helping me. And even the babysitter was just like, I noticed you haven't scheduled a lunchtime for yourself. And I was like, oh, right.
That eating thing.
I'm supposed to eat?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't, which is a lot of things that moms do, right?
Yes.
I'll eat lunch. And then they don't actually carve out time.
They eat the crust of their kids' bread.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
They eat the leftover.
Leftover juice or milk because you don't want to waste it.
Right, exactly. Or they're just picking crumbs off their kid's shirt and eating or whatever
Yeah.
they do.
Whatever they do to survive.
Yeah, yeah. I have a video on my comedy channel, which is all about how moms have these very well-meaning plans for themselves, and then it constantly changes to the point where it starts out with like, all right, I'm going to work out, and then and then 2 seconds later, okay, what is that? I got to do. Okay, all right, and then by the end of the day, they're like, I'll just work out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like that's the end. It's like you know, I'll just sleep next year.
Yeah. 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 And I don't know how the moms of 3 children do it. I'm a mom of 1, and I'm just like, it's so funny. We recently had a gathering at the house, and my best friend, one of my good friends, and I only have 1 child, and my neighbor came over with her kids, and my friend's husband walks, and they've got a very quiet little girl who likes to read, and and the neighbor's kids were 2 boys that are loud and rambunctious, and they went downstairs and they just started banging on the drums and whatever. And Micah walks up to me and just goes, I'm so happy to have a nice quiet little girl.
Right?
And the 3 of us were stood there going, I don't know how parents do it with more than 1 child. Like, I cannot imagine my life with more than 1 child. Yeah. I realized that a few years ago. I was like, yep, I'm really glad that the universe knew about me and figured me out fast.
It's a big transition. 1 to 2, 2 to 3 is a big transition. And then after 3, you don't feel anything. You just, no.
Okay. That makes sense because we have good friends that have 10. No, and they said the same thing. They're like, yeah, after 4, it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever.
And they are the calmest, most easygoing people you'd ever want to meet. I'm like,
well, that's why they got built-in babysitters in the older children.
They really do.
Yeah. I'm one of 6. I'm the youngest of 6. So yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
And I went totally the opposite way, and we did not have kids.
Yeah.
And when someone like is telling us a horror story about their kids, we just kind of look at each other and go,
but dodge that bullet.
It's not for everyone. It's really not for everyone.
No. Yeah. It's funny. My sister, grew up babysitting everybody's kids, like was really good with kids and everything. And she ended up not having children. And she kind of said the same thing, very similar thing when she was at Gabriel's birthday this year. It was her first time being up for his birthday. And she kind of was like, yep. She's like, as much as I thought I really wanted kids, maybe I'm better off. It's all good, like she's a good auntie, and that's all that matters.
Different paths. We all have different
paths. Exactly. We have our roles to play, and they're important no matter what.
100%. Mine was Wendy, don't have kids. I have never been the type of person, I need to have a baby. I need to have a family. I need to have kids. No, that was never me. So,
that's probably a good sign. Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably a good sign that did not happen. Right?
Yeah.
So, let's see. So you were on this journey of bettering yourself, and how did that progress though? So how did you
So after a few months, I have a social work background. So after a few months, and I felt a lot better. I wasn't crying the first 10 minutes of every coaching call.
Were you still coughing?
Say again?
Were you still coughing?
No, I had recovered. I apparently pulled a muscle in my tongue at some point during this. This is like my body was like, just stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Listening.
Like, right? Were you coughing purely because you were trying to make sales that your body couldn't do, or did you
overworked? Yeah. No pay, all that. Yeah. It was just my body was going, stop.
It was your throat chakra going, no.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wasn't conversant in all that stuff yet. I hadn't.
Yeah.
Right.
I hadn't done that. So anyway, working with the coach a couple months in, and I started feeling much better. And I emailed a couple of my mom friends and said, hey, I am not the hot mess I used to be. Would you like to not be a hot mess too?
Oh, wow.
I
I
learned some
love that.
stuff. Would you want to come over and I show it to you? And they're like, yeah. So like 3 out of the 10 said yes. And that was my first group in my living room. And that group lasted 2 years.
Wow.
Together weekly and started. And that's when I wrote the forest meditations and started doing the stuff. I was really into doing guided meditations. So I just started writing all these meditations about going into the forest and and something would happen and you would get a message. And it was, I just went into it. And then I started watching, do you know who Abraham is? Do you know the Esther Hicks channel?
That's familiar.
Lady. Esther Hicks channels an entity called Abraham. She's like one of the goats, if you will, or not the goats, one of the OGs. What's the term that people are using?
Greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time for channelers. She was, I think she started channeling because she went to see Seth, that channel, that entity. And the lady who does Seth told her, you're going to be channeling. Anyway, she did a lot. She still does channeling. So I started watching all those videos and I said to my coach, I'm like, I think I have OCD because I can't not stop watching Abraham. And he goes, I don't think you have OCD, Rita. I think you're a channeler.
Oh.
And I said,
sense.
I was like, I was in no, that's for special people. I was in that. And he said, maybe consider it, And so I remember Oprah had interviewed Esther Hicks and asked her, how did you start doing this?
Right.
And I watched the interview and I went, maybe I'll just do what she did. I literally just wrote down all the things she did and I started experimenting. Yeah. And sure enough, all this stuff started to come through me. And then I realized it was much easier if someone asked me a question. So I started asking my friends, I'm like, hey, you want to find something out? Just ask me questions. I'm going to get into this state. You start asking me questions and we'll have a conversation. And they're like, yeah. So I noticed just like stuff was just coming through that was not me and my personality. It was just
interesting
information from a higher place.
Right.
And so I did that for a while. That was something I did. And then I started doing like more body work, like energetic body work, where I would have yoga mats in my living room and I would just invite people to come in. And for a donation, I would just feel their chakra energy and clean things out. And so I just kind of got into it, started exploring different stuff. And, I still kind of channel when I coach a lot. I just let information come, but I don't say I'm channeling now. I just say, hey, I just had this idea pop in my head, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And then start opening up energy stuff in my hands for a while. Like everything was kind of like, let's try this on. Let's do this.
Yeah.
So I did that for a while. And then in 2017, I got a little burnt out from coaching. And it was because I was still in the mindset that I have to make sure someone makes a change. I was taking too much responsibility for other people's change. I got burnt out. And I was just like, screw that. I need a break. I need to do something else. And one of the things that popped up into my radar was taking a stand-up comedy course at the adult school.
Okay. I was going to ask you how you got to that. Perfect.
Yeah. So I've done comedy my whole life in one way or another, whether it's writing sketches or doing kind of musical comedy, but I never done stand-up. And it was one of those, that would be interesting. It terrifies me, but I can't not do it, which is a beautiful, perfect place to be. Even though it's terrifying. And I signed up for the course. You would think I was signing up to do an HBO special with the nerves I had, but you don't even so it was at the middle school. Okay. It was low stakes. So going to the middle school, they're teaching beginning guitar down the hall. And I walk into the health classroom, which is the best classroom to do comedy in because it has uteruses everywhere. You're just surrounded by, okay, here we go, and it was just 8 other regular people who have been told or felt like they had something funny to say. And we all got together and At the end of the class, at the end of the 6 weeks, you do a show. That's your graduation, is you go to a comedy club and you do a show.
Oh.
So the teacher was great. He had a lot of experience as a comedian, and he just instinctually kind of just gave us feedback, and the group would give you feedback. And by the end of the 6 weeks, I had a 5-minute set and did the show, terrified, panicked, felt like I forgot everything right before I got on stage. And then I did it, and I said my first joke, and I hear the laughter. And I was like, this is like my wedding day. This is amazing. I just couldn't believe how good it felt. And did the set, left stage, went to the back of the club to just have a little moment to myself. And this woman comes up to me and she goes, oh my God, I have 3 kids. I never get out of the house. I came here to see one of your compatriots.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, I laughed so hard that I almost peed my pants.
Well,
doesn't she know she needs to wear a panty shield if she had 3 children? That was my first thought, was, of course you're going to pee your pants. That's what we all do after you have 3 children. And then,
if you haven't had children.
Even if you haven't, yes. We can talk about the pelvic floor in a few minutes. But I thought, oh my God, this is helpful to her too. Like, it just never occurred to me that this sort of what I considered sort of a bucket list item actually be supportive or helpful to anyone else. And so that was a huge lesson in the power of comedy to allow people to release whatever they need to release, even if it's urine. And
you're going to go there.
And also that you don't feel like a weirdo. At least you're not a weirdo in isolation. You're a weirdo amongst the other weirdos, right? Who have whatever the thing is, whether they're frustrated or feel like they're going crazy, or they're a hot mess because they haven't showered in a week, or they are on no sleep, or whatever the issue is. To hear someone say that in public, and then go, oh my gosh, that's me, ha ha ha.
Right.
You go into a different part of your brain. You're not in survival brain anymore.
Right.
You're in the prefrontal cortex, which is solution-oriented, relaxed, focused, clear. You start to see more options. You're just in a brain that is more adapt to problem solving. So to me, that was a real lesson in, this is kind of an optimal place to be, is in laughter and relaxation and calm and just chilled out, and it's all going to be fine, and it's all figure outable, or we'll get through it. We're going to get through it. Right. So I learned, and I kind of generally brought humor into my coaching as well. You have to, of course, you have to be discerning when you do that. But the laughter also was helpful when I was coaching people. And so for years, I was trying to figure out, how do I marry these two things that I love to do? And then right before that happened, I kind of hit a wall. And I just started feeling really depressed, and I couldn't figure out why. And like depressed, like scary depressed, like where I was having suicidal thoughts. And I was like, whoa, this is not me. What is going on? And reached out to a friend, and she used these subconscious reprogramming audio tracks. And she goes, and I go, can I try it? Can I just do it? And she's like, yeah. So I used it, and halfway through the listening, whatever was bothering me, like disappeared. Like I couldn't figure it, couldn't find it in my brain. And I went, oh my gosh, who are you working with, and how do I get those? And so she directed me to this coach that I worked with for 6 months. And she guided me through all of these audio tracks. They're for different things. And so that became another program that I do. So, and what I realized with all of these programs, they're all, how do you change your relationship to your life? It's all about changing your relationship. So it's about having more compassion for yourself in your life, about being able to laugh at whatever drives you nuts.
Mhm.
And it's literally being able to let go, release any beliefs that are not working for you, and to bring the temperature down of all those negative emotions so that you can access that part of your brain that's problem solving. They're all just different ways of doing it.
Mhm.
So those became my 3 programs.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow. And so my brain goes to, what was the first joke you told at your very first like stand up, the graduation?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember that. I think it was something about being a mom is like being an alcoholic. And it runs in families. I come from a long line of mothers. And then there's another one, you don't change until you hit bottom. My bottom was 1. I have 3 kids. And then the other is you have to have a higher power, like Oprah. I think that was the joke.
I love that.
Good.
Yeah.
That is good.
I had to remember that one. Yeah. Now I do another one, which is about being a comedy teacher. And it's like one of the first things I teach women is how to turn their anxiety into excitement. And so what you need to do is you just need to say, I'm excited every time you feel nervous, and then something will shift. And I remember doing it in the beginning, and I was like, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And then it hit me. If this comedy thing doesn't work out, I could totally do OnlyFans. That was my joke.
That was good.
Thank you.
That is so funny.
Woo.
Oh, I love the journey of all of that, like the ups, the downs, the sideways, but yeah, bringing it all together to realize like, yeah, it's all about just kind of being the best version of yourself and
Yeah.
and showing up to help.
It's not about what happens. It's not.
Right.
What's your relationship to that?
Mm-hmm.
And you could decide whether it's going to make you bitter and closed off and angry, or if it's going to make you hopeful and open and more trusting and more connected to what's really important. And can you see a problem as an opportunity and a gift? If you could do that, you got it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, not easy to get there because we're trained, we're programmed to go problem, danger, get out of there.
Yeah.
No, avoid.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a community. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes. I have a Facebook group. It's a private group. It's called Calm Mom Alliance. What I love about it is that there are moms who do all sorts of things in it for stressed out professional moms, and for women who serve moms.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come just for the jokes, and the events. We do lots of events, all free for the most part. Or you can come for networking and meeting other practitioners and service providers and all sorts of people who do all sorts of things who serve moms, and find your accountant and find your fitness trainer and find your essential oil aromatherapist or whatever you're looking for, or be that for someone.
Yeah.
So, because, as much as they say it takes a village to raise a child, I think it takes a village to support pretty much anyone, especially women. So we all need our village.
Absolutely.
It takes a village to raise a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
For hair alone, ladies.
Hair alone. Like, we got into a deep discussion about hair before we even started recording.
Just how to tame the crazy curls.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Let them go wild. That's what I do.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And yeah, that community sounds amazing. I'm definitely going to have to pop into that because
Come on
Those are my
Yeah,
people.
you should totally. I'm in there.
That's good.
And the link to that will be in the show notes and all the things. And there was something else you wanted to talk about, your next
Your
comedy
class.
On July 2nd or July 1st, excuse me, is the next round of my comedy course for moms called One Funny Mother, stand-up comedy for moms. And it's a 6-week course. And after the course, we do a graduation show, and it's virtual. So it is all on Zoom. So you can be anywhere as long as you have an internet connection. And for the show, you invite your friends and family to see you. I do my little MC warm-up bit. All of the moms do their 5-minute sets. And then we have a professional headliner do 20 minutes. So it's like an hour.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. And the women always come out of it going, I can't believe I did that. What else?
Well,
Considering I could do now that before I didn't think I could do.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. So do you have to be a mother to sign up?
No, it's a women only show, but you don't have to be a mother. Yeah. And you don't have to talk about mothering. It's just the idea of supporting each other and talking about our wacky lives or what we find hilarious. And it's just, it really just finding the funny in your life, I think, is super powerful because it just shifts your relationship to it.
Absolutely.
Find the funny in your life. Like that's a mic drop, write downable for sure.
Yep.
Find the funny in your life. I have got all kinds of funny stories about experiences with my mother.
Yes.
I feel like I could do a stand-up routine.
Definitely could.
You can do it about a lot of things. I don't know if you guys know Tig Notaro.
I love Tig.
One of her big, what is it? This is the word. When she became really famous was she did a whole thing on having cancer. Her mom died, breaking up.
Yep.
All within 3 months. She did a whole show about it. And it was. Really?
Yeah, she's amazing. She's a very dry comedian. Like you have to be of a special breed to love Tig, but
she's mastered storytelling. She does all storytelling, really. Don't you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's like this funny when she throws down the end piece. It's like you're just like, oh. She's so good.
She's mastered the callback. Yeah. We call that a callback. When you call back to a previous joke or previous thing and the audience it's something in us that just loves that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're very wise. I have so much to learn from you.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Thank you, Wendy. That's very sweet. I think we all have something to learn from each other. We all have a piece of puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This was an awesome episode.
So much fun.
You've definitely lived, you've gone through a lot of transitions, but you clearly got to some cool places and have certainly helped a lot of people. And I'm glad that you came here to share more so that hopefully more people can learn from you and grow with you and all the things.
Thank you so much. I could be doing this with my teens, but they really don't care. So place where I can bestow my wisdom upon you.
Exactly.
They're like,
whatever, bro.
Have to be a TED Talk. Yeah.
There you go. TED Talk / stand-up.
That's right. That's
great.
Right. Thank you so much. No, I appreciate it. That's my way of saying thank you so much for the
excellent
generosity.
Thank you for being our guest. You're amazing. And you can find all about Rita in the show notes. And so go find her and connect with her and all the things.
Absolutely. See you next time.
Thank you.